That's it. That's what it's going to be. So let's make it happen. That's what they say. Let's make it happen. So let's make it happen. And if Kenny Newman was here, he would say, "And we are live." And I believe that to be true. We are live in all social media. So welcome to our 139th meeting of the Current Event Show, presented by Soundbroker and your host, Jan Landy. Today, we have a short but lively panel. So just remember, whatever you hear today is an opinion, and do your own research. So here we go. Hey, well, it's David, Jan, and Tina coming to you live from various places in the world: Las Vegas, Hollywood, and Rawai, Thailand. And you'll never guess who is where. So that's the question. Guess where we are. Where is Waldo? I have no idea where he is. Anyway, but I do know that here's an interesting fact for you people out there that are listening to start the show off. I did not know this, but did you know that the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France, but they were actually cooked in Greece? What do you know about that? They were cooked in Greece. So there you have it. That's the joke of the day. Take that with you to the pediatrician's office when your kid needs something to say. So anyway, welcome everybody. Dave, how's your week?
Just normal, running around, doing stuff in LA. It's not raining. So everything was on hold while it was raining down here. And now it's fine. The sun was out. It was a high of 62, which for LA is low, but it's relatively normal for winter. I was talking to our friend JoJo. She's in Winnipeg, and it's like minus 30 up there.
Well, it's the coldest winter. It's the coldest winter, I believe, on record. Also, okay, so you thought your winter was cold. Listen to this. Temperatures in the world's coldest city have plunged to minus 50 degrees Celsius or 58 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the city of, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Yakutsk in East Siberia. It's widely identified as one of the coldest places on Earth, and it is seen abnormally a long cold snap. January is the coldest month, and although they're accustomed to freezing temperature, residents in this remote region of the world, and whenever you think, you're going to be banned to Siberia, that's, you think of this, how cold it is. Anyway, there's a link in the show notes for this from CNN Travel. So if you want to be colder, you could go to Yakutsk in East Siberia. So
I think in that article it says that their eyelashes freeze.
Yeah, their eyelashes freeze last week, I think. Yeah, I mean that is freezing cold, man. When your eyelashes freeze,
so dangerous.
Yeah, well, yeah, because if an eyelash falls off and it gets caught in the wind, it could stab somebody, and that's the end. But
poke your eye out.
Poke your eye out. Yeah, that's right. Just do it till you need glasses, is what I say. Just do it till you need glasses. That's it. So, but we're heading. Here it is, the coldest, and now we're heading for the warmest. This is what I just read, is that the warning of unprecedented heat waves is El Nino is set to return in 2023. And I'll read what this says. The return of El Nino climate phenomenon later this year will cause global temperatures to rise off the charts and deliver unprecedented heat wave, according to scientists. Early forecasts suggest that El Nino will return later in 2023, exacerbating extreme weather around the world, making it very likely that the world will exceed the growth of 1.5 C of warming. That's 1.5 centigrade of warming. The hottest year in record, 2016, was driven by a major El Nino as well. And it's part of the natural oscillation driven by ocean temperatures, winds in the Pacific, which switches between El Nino, its cooler counterpoint, La Nina, and natural conditions. So the last 3 years have seen an unusual run of consecutive La Nina events. And that's reported by The Guardian, and we'll throw that link in the chat. But man, I remember the winds from El Nino when I was living in California, and it really got hot.
Yeah, I mean, was it last summer they were talking about, it might have been India, where it was like 122 degrees. And
Yeah, it was crazy.
probably dying left and right.
Yeah. And, speaking of India, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but India, over half the population is of 30 years old and under. And it is set now to be the fastest growing major economy in the coming years. It's also now India just surpassed China in population. So I believe that they have 1.423 billion people, which is basically 5 million more people than China. That is a huge amount of people.
Well, it's not nearly as big as China either. So that means they're more densely populated.
Man, every picture I've ever seen of India, it's always like people on top of people upon people, you see them on the train tracks, it's crazy.
So I just watched a movie called RRR. And they said,
is that like RRR funny or RRR?
It's like be a pirate. RRR. No, the movie itself won foreign film. It won Best Foreign Film at the Screenwriters Award, one of the awards. And the song won the Golden Globes as the best song. So Myrna and I decided, it's on Netflix. So we decided to watch it. It's a 3-hour Indian movie. It was really good. And they have crowd scenes there. And, you see a crowd scene in the US is 100 people. You see a crowd scene in this movie, there's like 20,000 people. And not all of it is CGI. They have a lot of people in this movie. So I guess it's not so hard to say we need 10,000 extras and we're going to pay you $5 for the day. And the people just claim.
If they pay them that much.
Yeah, right.
If they even get paid,
But it's definitely a movie to see. It's nonstop action, drama. It's definitely worth it. It's on Netflix. Check it out. And it's,
Netflix is buying a lot of movies from India and Korea. They're going to buy more movies from Korea than ever before. Ever since that, I guess that's how it's a trend. What was that? The games. There was a game.
Squid Game.
What was the name of that movie on Netflix?
The Squid Game.
Squid Games, yeah, that came from Korea now. So now they're buying a bulk of material from South Korea.
We also saw a good one called Pachinko from Korea.
Pachinko, isn't that a Japanese game?
Oh yeah, maybe it was Japanese. No, but there was Korea involved. It was like, I think it was the Japanese who invaded Korea, and this was under the occupation of Korea. For Pachinko, that's what it was. So it was definitely a Korean movie with a lot of Japanese in it, but they weren't good guys.
So I got a tip for you for Netflix. Okay, I got a tip for you. So if you watch Netflix, if you go to Netflix hyphen the word codes, like CODES, like Morse codes, but codes, Netflix-codes.com, you will see the category. So if you're looking for a movie and you're not sure what to watch, you can go to Netflix-codes.com and you will be able to see the secret categories that Netflix have. So if you, let's say I want to watch an adventure flick, you either do a search for adventure and then you click on the link on that and you'll see every adventure movie that Netflix has. So if you're looking for a comedy, it's a very cool site, very, very, and it's a Netflix site. It's a legitimate Netflix site.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
I believe. So check it out if you're watching Netflix. So here's another thing that's very interesting, and that is, we're talking about the way things are in the world, El Nino, blah, 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 hot, cold, this and that. So a lot of people deny that we are in what they would call global warming or climate crisis. There's people that just, they just don't believe it. Well, it turns out that they have been misled, those people that don't believe it. And they haven't just been misled by, a few people. They have been misled by the entire petrochemical industry. And it's now revealed, it was just revealed, and it's being reported by The Guardian, the New York Times, all of the major sources are now reporting this, that Exxon made a breathtakingly accurate climate prediction in the 70s and 80s for what it would be like. And it's accurate as it could be. And they knew point blank, no doubt about it, that the petrochemical, they knew that these fuels that they were creating were definitely causing global warming. And if the planet keeps heating up the way it's heating, the disasters, the natural disasters that we are seeing right now will be nothing compared to what we're going to see in the next few years. Did you hear about that story, Dave?
Yes, that they knew, and this was in like 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah, in the 70s. They knew about it in the 70s.
And they predicted what was going to happen, and they were more accurate than the government.
That's correct. That is correct. Absolutely. And they knew it. They knew it, and yet they denied it.
Right.
And now they're being sued. All of these oil companies are being sued by municipalities for the costs of all the natural disasters that they are incurring. And it's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, we have a special guest live from Kavlo, somewhere in the world, wherever this trade show is taking place. Mr. Mike Brown is in the room, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good to have you, Mike.
It's good to be seen.
Hey, Mike,
Yep.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Mike.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm-
everybody asks me, when's Mike coming back in the room? That's when I'll come back. When he comes back, you know, it's like not quite as good as when hell freezes over, but it's close
If
enough.
everybody is you and David, now you both know the answer.
Yes. So did you see the link on LinkedIn?
I did not. I saw it in Twitter just now. That's what reminded me that it was Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday all over the world except for where I am. It's Thursday.
Right, but
You
it was
know?
a 4-day. It was a 4-day week here, so I keep thinking today's Tuesday because it's only the second work day for me.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You know, we were just talking about climate change, but speaking of climate change and all of that, so did you hear that Fletcher Jones has gotten the endorsement of F1, Formula One? So the Heineken Silver Las Vegas Grand Prix is what they're calling it, from November 16th to the 18th, 2023, is taking place in Las Vegas. The track will see drivers reaching jaw-dropping speeds of over 210 miles an hour,
Very
340
familiar.
kilometers.
Very familiar with F1. Very disappointed with F1 because the whole thing turned into a disaster if you were trying to get tickets.
Well, Fletcher Jones has got a ton of tickets now. So if you go out and buy a car from Fletcher Jones, I think you can get some tickets.
Now, given that they are sponsoring the Silver Arrow experience, what kind of cars do you think Fletcher Jones sells? What
F1.
brand?
Well, they're providing the Mercedes-Benz for the ground transportation.
Yes, the Silver Arrows. The Silver Arrow is the Mercedes-Benz F1 team. And yes, Fletcher Jones sells Mercedes. Do I look like someone who is rushing out to buy a Mercedes? anytime?
Actually, you do. You are the kind of person they're actually looking for right now, because I know I'm looking for you. And by the way, after the show, I need to talk to you about borrowing some money, because I know you've got more of it than anybody else I know, you know.
No,
You're a wealthy
no,
man,
no.
Mike Brown.
You apparently didn't hear that my bookkeepers screwed up the company inventory and overvalued me by $300,000.
That's nothing. If I was your bookkeeper, you would be billions ahead. Billions, I tell you, billions. You know, with a B, that is, with a B. You'd have more money than the people in India, I would tell you, combined. That's it.
That would be impressive. Where is everyone? It's a beautiful.
Everyone is working. Everybody's working. They're on the road. They're doing what they got to do. But, you know, I hate to say we don't need them, but screw them. We don't need them. You don't want to show up? Hey, we got the core. The core is here. And
He's just joking, people. He is really joking. He loves when all you guys are here. Do not pay this to delete this. Just I don't even know what he's talking about.
So anyway, I'm thinking I just got a notice April 17th through April 19th in Las Vegas. The NAB show is going to be there. And I'm thinking that might be a good time to come back and visit. The weather will be nice, it'll be great atmosphere, get to see a bunch of people.
Generally is a good time because it's a decent sized show, but it's not CES levels of crazy stupidness. And the weather is nice, and it'll be you won't see Maxon if you come that week, and you probably won't see David because they'll be at NAMM. NAMM is happening the very same week.
Oh, it's in April?
In Anaheim.
Well, it's only a 5-hour car ride. Actually, not even from Las Vegas. Anaheim is only about a 3.5-hour ride.
Right, but good luck getting somewhere to stay in Anaheim unless you already know someone.
Well, I happen to have a place to stay in Hollywood, California, I believe.
Well, there you have it.
You might. What are the dates again for NAMM and for NAB?
One moment while I open my
second week in April
master calendar document that I keep.
Yeah, I don't have it here.
I can tell you all sorts of trade show dates for the whole year.
Oh, NAB, I have it 16th to the 19th.
Yeah,
that's NAB. I don't have NAMM.
Okay, so technically, I guess they don't overlap. NAMM is 13th through the 15th, and NAB is 15th through the 19th. But the first couple days of NAB are, the education, the certifications, that sort of stuff.
Now, let me see if I understand this correctly. Isn't NAMM normally in January?
It normally is. They moved. So last year, 2020, they told the Anaheim Convention Center, we're not going to do it in 2021 because we still think we'll be under pandemic and blah, 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 right? So then they changed their mind and say, we are going to do it in 2021. But by that time, the Anaheim Convention Center had booked a couple of other things. Not huge things, but they were under contract and they were right in the middle of, there just wasn't room for NAMM at that point. So then NAMM said, great, we'll do it in June, because June was the first time Anaheim could reaccommodate them. Plus, there was some strategizing there about going head-to-head with Infocom, and let's see how that turns out. And
also, didn't you have a Cavalo date? And they definitely wanted to stay away from that.
Exactly.
They had no competition.
And they were pushing a little bit, because remember, a fair bit of NAMM is international travel. You do get a few foreigners that come in for NAMM, and that's an important market for them. So by pushing out to June, by then, this is 2021, hopefully, things are better and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, it's 2022. So, but Anaheim's, and so they had it in June. It was up against Infocom. They forced some companies to have to choose, somebody like Shure. Those are two completely different verticals. Shure has an MI/retail vertical that has its own booth and its own trade show team and all that. And Shure has its own, commercial installation Infocom type group of people, right? So Shure doesn't care. Shure will just do both shows. That's just life. But other companies, you get a little bit smaller and you start thinking about, the Renkes Hines of the world, even the Meyer Sounds of the world. They don't have multiple trade show teams. They have a trade show team and they have a trade show booth.
That's right.
They might have a couple of smaller ones, 10 by 20-ish. But if you're talking the big booth, I think Myers is 30 by 30 is their big booth. There's only one of those, and it costs a lot of money to ship it and get it set up. And if the shows overlap, it's irrelevant. You just can't make it work. So,
not to mention the cost of the room just to go into the room.
Yeah, exactly. So, NAMM offered hot shotting, and we've got special deals for freight and all that, but it wasn't that special. So they did what they could. And then NAMM told Anaheim, hey, so we want to go back to January in 2023. And Anaheim said, no, sorry, the same group that was 2022 that took your spot is taking 2023 as well. They're not under contract for 2024 yet, though. So if you want that, sign now. So this NAMM in April should be the last non-January NAMM for the foreseeable future.
Anyway, for those who are listening who have never been to NAMM, first of all, NAMM stands for National Association of Music Merchandisers, if I remember correctly. And if you've ever seen a Fellini movie, I would only say the crowd at NAMM has nothing on Fellini. That's what I would say. It is a wild show. It is, you will see things that you only saw in a Fellini movie. That's all.
And that's a
That's
big
what I
part
would
of that's a big part of the NAMM show. It's part of the draw of the NAMM show. It's one of the reasons I don't go to the NAMM show. Well, partly I'm not in retail. It's just not my market. But also there's a lot of people who just, a lot of musicians and music fans who find a way to attend the show because they just want to bump into Slash in the aisle, as he's going from one booth to another, fulfilling.
Well, let me explain that. Let me explain that to people who are listening, how that happens. Okay. So all of the manufacturers that deal with equipment in the entertainment, they have endorsees, such, for example, like Marshall amps. They would have somebody, let's just say for argument's sake, like Slash. I don't know if that's the case, but he has an endorsement with Shure, has an endorsement with multiple performers. And in their contract for endorsement, some of them have the agreement that they will make at least one personal appearance, maybe two personal appearances at an event that this company has. And that's usually where they pull out their chits to have people come to NAMM to be in their booth. And that is what causes the mass amount of pedestrians to come through to see the show.
More than that, Jan, they're not just in the booth. They usually end up playing live in the booth. That's the draw, to watch Slash play, to watch all of these endorsers of all these, including violins and pianos. It doesn't matter. Every instrument has endorsers.
I remember seeing video a few years ago, well, a few years now, it's probably been 10 or 12, but Yo-Yo Ma went to a NAMM, and most people didn't recognize him walking around, but as soon as he sat down and picked up a cello and started playing, everybody knew who he was. And there was
cello. How are you, Yo-Yo?
There was
cello.
A huge crowd who just stopped, because how often are you going to stand 10, 15, 20 feet away from Yo-Yo Ma playing a cello? It's just not something that's going to happen very often. Yeah. So that's part of it. Just NAMM is just, it's a zoo. It's an experience, maybe it's one of those things everybody should experience once if you're a music fan or in the music business.
Yeah, but the other part of NAMM is, you can't get in as a general public. You can only get in through a manufacturer or the organization itself.
Well, I can be fooled very easily, because every time I've been there, I've seen plenty of people that shouldn't be there that are there.
They knew somebody.
Yeah. Or a retailer, and it's the same like other shows. People find a code, or they find a pass, or they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or they go to the local drum rep.
But you can't just show up.
And give them $500 and Bob's your uncle, they're in.
Right.
And there you have it. And that's what we're going to talk about. So let's talk about, you're here in the room. You're the man with the ear on the ground in Las Vegas. I read an article in the RJ, the Review Journal, which really amazed me, and I didn't realize it, but car owners right now are suffering as Las Vegas sees a rise in vehicle thefts. It seems like now Las Vegas could be the #1 place for car thefts.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I would think that would slow down pretty soon, because used car prices have dropped dramatically in the last 6 months, because new cars are much more readily available now than they used to be. Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's funny you mentioned that. I was at one of our local casinos today doing some service work, and on the way out, I got to chatting with an employee as we walked to the parking lot where I was parked, and as we were leaving, he was like, "Hey, you really shouldn't park here." And it's part of their property. He's like, "You shouldn't park in this lot. At least one car a week gets stolen from this lot." So apparently, yes, car thefts are up. I don't understand why, but they are up.
Well, according to the article, because of the parts are very valuable, and the cars that they're stealing are easily stolen and shipped overseas almost immediately. So it's a ring. It's organized. And the other thing is, it seems like most of the car thefts are happening in the poorer sections of town, up in like North Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, I put 2 fresh dents in my truck in the last month, so I don't think anybody wants it.
Well, thank you very much for sharing.
All right, so I'm going to show something on screen share, and you guys can talk about this. All right?
Okay,
Fine, if you're going to be like that.
You see it?
great.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
MSG
the,
sphere.
Look how
That's
big
the-
it is.
It is.
no,
it
it's
is big.
huge.
Let me tell you. Let me put it into context. How big it is. They don't measure their LED by square footage. They measure their LED surfaces by acres.
That is
building-
amazing.
That building, when it's complete, will have 17.6 square acres of LED surface.
Now, am I correct in saying that the whole outside of that building will be an LED screen?
And the whole inside as well.
Wow, that's impressive.
Look how big it is.
Yes.
It's huge. It's huge, I tell
Yeah.
you.
So that crane that you see to the left of the picture, the one that's kind of pointing straight up, it isn't pointing straight up, but whoever took the picture happened to be exactly on frame with it. That is the 5th largest crawler crane in the world.
Yeah, they brought it in, I think, from Germany, and it was. I was reading an article. It comes in like 5 different ships or something like that. It's huge.
And construction was delayed by something like 7 months because the previous project that crane was on was delayed. And when you get into that size crane, you just don't call Ahern and go, "Hey, our crawler crane didn't come in. Can we rent one for a couple of months?" You just have to wait until that crane became available because it was the only one available. And that crane is probably booked for the next 10 years because it is so unique because of its size.
Yeah, that is amazing. So Tina was saying before we went live that they were testing something. Did you know about that, Tina? Well, Tina, are you there? Okay, she
She's
must
on a
have stepped.
fire.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there
I
you
was
go.
just saying they were testing the MSG Sphere LED panel testing this morning. So they had the helicopters fly over, and Sky 3 was filming it as the lights were going around on it. Yep, this morning.
Oh, so there's
I
probably
also
video
saw-
of that online. If we go to, let's say, for example, KLAS.com. No, not KLAS. It's KLAS TV.
KSNV.
Hey, oh, yeah, I forgot. KLAS goes by 8 News Now. 8 News Now. Search for MSG. It's alive. LED panel testing begins at MSG Sphere.
There you go. So and they're scheduled to open in time for the Grand Prix, if I'm correct. And
yes,
I would,
because that's one of
and-
the turns. The track goes around it.
and the other thing is that I would probably say, I guess it's, just off the top of my head, I'll bet anything, Garth Brooks is opening that too, because he opens everything. No?
I can't tell you who the opening artist is, but I can tell you who the first residency is because that's public knowledge.
Who is the
First
Who is-
residency is U2.
U2?
Yep.
U2 are going to be there? Unbelievable.
And they're
That's
thinking
phenomenal.
they're
It's like-
thinking of firing up Zootopia.
Wow.
Of
That's
bringing
pretty
that
impressive.
bringing that show out of storage. Apparently, they've kept all the sets all these years, and converting some of the backgrounds to LED, making it fully immersive because that LED wraps completely around you, no matter where you're sitting in the sphere. You have a better than 180-degree view horizontally and something like 120-degree view vertically of LED.
Yeah, and I hear they got like millions of speakers in there of some off-brand that I've never heard of. Of course, it's not an off-brand for them because they heard of it. But
Yeah, and they're all made by the speakers aren't, but the amps are all PowerSoft.
wow, that's a big thing for PowerSoft.
Yep. Well, and these are very special amps. They're individual amps, IP addresses. The data network that conveys all the AV information is the largest data network in the US outside of the Pentagon, I think.
Wow, that is impressive. And the other thing is that the whole building is going to be so impressive when it opens up. If it does what it says it's going to do, then it's just going to be a place of a destination resort for people just to come. You know, they're going to come to Las Vegas
Yes,
just to see that building.
Yeah, well, and just to see a show there, whatever it is, there, whatever their favorite artist is, and if seeing it at MSG Sphere will be different than seeing it anywhere else because of the fully immersive video nature of it.
That's pretty amazing, and the sound nature of it as well.
Yeah,
you know?
that should be interesting. I'm really curious to hear what it sounds like when the time comes, and I'll also be curious to hear if you get a big name artist like a U2, who, you know, obviously have easy access to any PA in the world, and their concerts have always sounded great to begin with. Are they bringing a PA in, or are they simply going through the house system? Is it a little bit of both? How does that work? I'll be really curious to find that out.
Well, I would be. I guess when Ken Porter comes back, he might be able to give us a little bit more on that. But I would be pretty much of the ilk that the sound system for this room is going to be designed for this room, and it would be hard for me to think that somebody else could bring another system in that would be better than what they already have built in.
Yeah, especially given the room is a globe and you're inside a sphere. That's yeah, I'd be curious. I don't think anybody could. It's just such a specialized acoustic environment, and they've got, from what I understand, several very impressive computers that do nothing but constantly and actively run the sound system.
Yeah, because I would think it was something like, for example, I heard it likened to the Love Show at the Mirage, whereas every seat had its own PA system in it, so that it was immersive sound. Plus, they did have a room PA, but it was immersive sound for you, almost like spatial audio. What have you? And speaking of spatial audio, have you guys heard the Apple spatial music on Apple Music? I have to tell you, it is very, very impressive what they've done.
Hey, Jan, you're frozen.
Okay, well, it's not that cold here, but I will fix it.
I have a question. Has anybody been to the Dome at Container Park, where they show immersive 360-degree movies in there? And each seating, it has your own sound system, and it's like a miniature sphere. But it'll give you an idea of what's to come when you go to the sphere. But it presents the same thing there at the Dome at Container Park downtown.
Let's see now. The Dome.
And you know what
There you
I
have
love?
it.
I love to sit in the middle seats because you just lay down and you watch everything in the whole 360-degree movie dome.
Yeah. Hello, Ken.
Hi. The thing that I was told too is that the Beacon Theater has the same brand or the concept of a sound system that they put in last year. That's like at the Sphere.
Yeah, they're using the Beacon as a test zone to finalize what they need to know about the Sphere. Even though they're completely different, it's still the same concept.
Okay, so I'm looking at pictures of the Dome at Container Park, and it's an IMAX theater, is what it is.
Yeah, it's been there for years, but I'm saying it's like being in a mini sphere. You know?
And it's a
Do they show movies there?
Yes.
It's what I call real IMAX, not.
Yeah, it's a 360-degree movie. Everything is all around.
Now, are they
you.
playing Avatar there? Because that would be an amazing place to see Avatar if that was the case.
The crappiest movie I've seen in years.
Well, we must have seen different Avatars.
Horrible movie. Horrible.
Really? What didn't you like about it? Because I thought it was phenomenal.
Oh, then you have no taste in movies, sir. No taste.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's kind of you to say. But what didn't you like about it, or what did you like about it?
Let's see. The middle hour. So 3 hours and 16 minutes, where the whole middle hour is them just swimming with space whales. Pointless.
Yes, but that was the beautiful thing about it, is that you've never seen anything like that before in your life, because that is
the complete appropriation of Pacific Islander culture. Almost entirely Samoan, but some other too. That's all that this new tribe was just Samoans with blue skin and pointy ears.
Wait a second, we have a Samoan in the room here.
They even took Samoan words. Did they not, Tina?
I haven't even seen it yet. I apologize.
Don't go see Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots is a better movie.
Which one?
No, Michael's, I hate to disagree with you, but in this case, I love it. I love it. No, I thought the movie was phenomenal. It built up the characters, but the spectacularness of it all is not so much how great the movie was in my mind, or the writing, how they built it up and they made it into a story. But what I thought was the most impressive of it all was the visual effects. The visual effects were flawless, and especially in 3D.
You've never been.
Now, did you see it? Did you see it in 3D, or did you see it?
You know if they're flawless? They were just made up.
Now, let me ask you something. Did you see it in 3D, or did you just see it with your eyes
I saw it
closed?
in 3D.
Wow.
Well,
Unbelievable.
I liked it also, just so you know.
I liked it too. I thought it was really good. I thought the characters were compelling. I thought that, it was a story that was warm and for the whole family. And there was no controversy in it because, but it always amazes me. There is one thing that always amazes me, that we're dealing in the future. We're dealing in the future, and they're still shooting. They're still using guns to shoot and bombs to blow up things. I would think that in the future, there's not going to be that kind of violence from guns. They're going to have a lot more. They're going to have a lot more sophisticated weapons, to annihilate people, and it won't be just shooting.
Not the space Samoans, not the boring storyline, not the transparent characters. That's what bothered you.
Well, technically, I thought it was amazing. I read that the actors were not allowed to let any bubbles come out because they're breathing underwater. So they went through major training to get for breathing techniques so that they can shoot for long periods of time underwater with direction, and they were able to hold their breaths for up to 3 minutes.
Tina, here's all you need to do. Don't waste your money on Avatar. Just go buy a pair of blue tinted glasses and watch Dances with Wolves, because it's the exact same story.
Oh, thank you so much for your opinion. And just remember, everything you're hearing is an opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with our opinions. And in this case, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is the first time that I'm not agreeing with you on anything.
When I left
everything.
the movie, I was happy about one thing.
It was over.
Two things. I was happy it was over, and I was happy I didn't pay for it.
There you go. Well, you think, next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay you just to sit through the ending credits, because that's 20 minutes right there,
I did go see Megan the other night, and quite entertaining.
Meghan Markle?
No, Megan the movie.
Oh, Megan the movie. Oh, I didn't know there was a movie.
Megan the doll.
Yes, that was quite entertaining. A much, much, much better spend of my time and money, because I actually paid for that one. I was happy to pay for that one.
There you go. Well, hey, just remember on the bottom of my website, there's a buy Soundburger a cup of coffee thing. Just an FYI, if you got some extra money.
Yes.
Is Megan a Marvel movie?
Megan's a horror movie.
Is that like Chucky?
Oh, yeah.
Is that like Chucky the Clown or something like that?
It's not terribly. It's only PG-13. It's not R.
Like Annabelle?
Yeah, maybe, but different.
Okay.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Well, speaking of disasters in your mind, I will talk about another disaster. And we were talking about climate change, but listen to this, and this is a crazy story. Frantic residents of an Arizona suburb outside of Scottsdale have been cut off from their water supply. Citing a worsening drought, city officials have from Scottsdale have cut off the water to approximately 1,000 customers of the community of Rio Grande Foothills. But as the drought has worsened, Scottsdale officials said that they have to keep their water, and they have turned off the standpipe, which was supplying this community as part of the drought management plan. And basically what happened is that the city of Rio Grande, basically to avoid the county or the state regulations where they had to have a certain amount of building in 6 units. To avoid that, they built them in 5-unit lots. So they have no protection at all. And now these multi-million-dollar homes have no water, and their water bill was about $200 a month, is now shot up to over $1,000 a month, and they have to bring in the water by trucks to supply the water to this community. So it's really, really, really a scary development for because the drought is continuing. And then on the other hand, California now, the water is everywhere. So much water. They're expecting right now, I just read that they're expecting the greatest flood in the history of California coming any minute now. I mean, it's crazy.
As long as it doesn't hit 50, 60 degrees up there, that's when it floods. If it's just a regular runoff, it'll be bad, but it won't be the worst ever.
Well, it's supposed to go through the Central Valley where all of the farming is taking place, and it could wipe out a lot of the agriculture.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how fast it melts. I remember one year it snowed like crazy, and I remember I used to live in Tahoe. So it snowed like crazy, and they had record amounts of snow, and then over New Year's, it hit like 60 degrees or even warmer, and it all melted. And then they had major, major flooding because of that. So they just got to hope it doesn't happen again, that there's no heat wave.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a storm that comes through. They're saying it's a storm, not so much that melting from the ice caps. But right now, it looks really good for everybody because if it doesn't warm up very quickly, the snowpacks in the mountains are really good, and that's going to feed the water for California, Las Vegas, Arizona, and Colorado. And the Colorado River should start to run again and fill up, which would be great for everybody that lives on the West Coast or depends on the Colorado River for water.
Yeah,
So-
we're not out of the woods yet.
Not out of the woods yet, but speaking of out of the woods, Madonna just announced her first arena tour in 7 years. She's going back out on the road. How do you like that?
Man, I saw nothing but complaints from people who saw her last show. They said she lip synced 100% of the show, and she just wasn't worth it. And that was 7 years ago. So they're not going to find me going.
Well, that's a horrible thing when an artist has to lip sync their show, because you're not paying for seeing somebody lip sync. You want to see their performance. You want to see them give their soul and heart and everything into a performance.
Yeah.
So Steve Sluter's not in the room. I guess he's out fishing. But then they just announced the headline is for the New Orleans Jazz Fest, and it'll be the Dead and Company, Ed Sheeran, and Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Am I pronouncing that right? Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Yeah, she's going to be headlining the Jazz Festival. So finally, I might have a reason to go out there now. Very talented. These are all talented people.
She's a flautist, so, she plays a good jazz instrument.
Yeah, that would make sense. There you go. I like the way you said a flautist. Who would have thought that? I would have called it a flutist myself, but it is a flautist.
Or is it?
Or is it?
It's an opinion. It's an opinion.
Yeah, that's it. So on a sadder note, Gina Lollobrigida, she passed away. She was 95. I didn't even know she was alive. But whoever knew her that she was still alive. She just passed away. 95 years old.
Didn't you know her in the biblical sense?
As a child, I used to think of her in the biblical sense. When I was an adolescent, and I remember that's that great picture of her, Gina Lollobrigida, and Sophia Loren. And she's caught looking at her breasts. You remember that iconic photo?
No, that
Or
was
was that
Jane Mansfield.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was Gina Lollobrigida, or that was Sophia Loren. That was Sophia Loren looking at Jane Mansfield's breast, waiting for them to pop out.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what she said when they were interviewed about that famous photo.
As a child, I imagined that many times. Anyway. So let's see what else is going on in the world. Kobe Bryant's iconic Laker jersey is expected to fetch millions at auctions. It's a signed jersey. He wore it. Well, he was a 5-time NBA champion, and he wore it more than 25 times during the 2007-2008 season, and that's going to go on auction. So if you are a Kobe Bryant fan, and you got millions of dollars to spend, that would be a trophy prize for sure, because he's not going to be wearing any more shirts that I know of, so this is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity for somebody. I always wondered whether they changed their clothes, like sports, like I can't imagine like a football uniform is worn more than one time. Does anybody know anything about that?
It's up to the athlete. I mean, if the uniform is torn, then it doesn't meet the league standards, so they can't wear it again. But some athletes will, like if they have a really good game, they might, because they're superstitious, they might try and wear the same jersey over and over and over again. But it's usually, it has to at least be washed per league rules pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than smelling body odor, I have to tell you. So yeah, keep those clean. Keep those uniforms clean. That's what I could say.
They issued like 6 jerseys for they used through the entire season, so they all washing them.
Really? I would have thought that they,
I'd
because
be willing to bet it's dozens. They get as many jerseys as they want.
Yeah, and even if they didn't, they could buy them themselves. They're rich people.
No, I think it's 6 jerseys.
Well, let's do some research. Maybe for next show we will have it. We'll have it together, or somebody will Google it right now, and then by the time we get back to it, you'll just say, "Hey, guess what about this?" and we'll talk about it. So, guess what? Tim Cook took a pay cut. Listen to this. This is amazing. Tim Cook took a pay cut of more than 40% of his salary for 2023 at his own request. And guess what? He's still going to make, even with a 40% cut in salary, this year he's going to make $49 million on salary. Is that not outrageous? Is that not crazy? How do I get a job like that? That's what I want to know. I'd hate to have to take a pay cut like that. Unbelievable.
I got a public service announcement for you.
Go ahead.
The Parnelli Award ballot came out. And if you look through Sound Company Year, I'm one of the 6 on the thing. So yeah, vote for us.
Well, hey, this is a paid political announcement. Vote for Spectrum Sound. That's all I can say. Who are your competitors? Well, you don't have any competitors, do you? You just have other wannabes that are running in that category.
Claire, Major Tom.
Well, that's good that you made that list, and I will vote for you if I can. As a matter of fact, I will vote early and often. That's it. That's what I will do. I will vote early and often. Hey, speaking of that, so speaking of voting and buying stuff, Amazon Prime just came out with a new service, and you're hearing this probably here first if you haven't heard it already. But Amazon, it's called Buy with Prime button on non-Amazon sites now. So basically, you're going to be able to go to people's websites and click on Buy with Prime, and you're going to go through the Amazon Payment Center. And basically, Prime members get a benefit of Amazon's speedy payment and free next-day delivery on any non-Amazon site that this button appears. So it's going to be really cool if you're an Amazon. It's another benefit for Amazon Prime. And by the way, Prime went up this year to $139 from 119. How many people in the room are using Amazon Prime? Nobody.
Multiple times a week.
Yeah. I mean,
Amazon loves me.
Yeah.
yeah, they've made it so easy to buy. I mean, of course, they've heard, the brick and mortar stores. I mean, one of the casualties is Bed Bath and Beyond right now. They're really hurting.
And Party City.
Say again?
Party City.
Yeah. I mean, it was like they were famous for their coupons. I mean, everybody would get their coupons. I mean, even, it was well known that every week, if you didn't get an Amazon coupon, a Bed Bath and Beyond coupon, you were probably listed as somebody who had deceased. And then you knew you were no longer alive, So.
Yeah. Party City announced today they're filing for bankruptcy.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's
Chapter 11, not 7. So they should come out of it.
Yeah. Well, talking about new things and buying, I created a new service today for Soundbroker, and I'm going to throw it out. I'm calling it the Buyer Concierge Service One-Time Purchase Program. So basically, every once in a while, somebody will come along to us that really is not in the industry, and they want to buy something. And we have to spend a lot of time and energy into assisting them. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And so we are offering now a concierge service for those people out there that want to buy entertainment production equipment, but really don't have a clue. And so that is something that we're offering. And I think it's going to be cool. I mean, we already had one inquiry on it today, and I was impressed. It hasn't even been officially announced yet. So this is the first time anybody is hearing about it other than Tina and myself and our website designer. So I'm sharing this with you, the world. Hope you like it. Anybody in the room think they're not short and they're not tall enough? You'd like to be a little taller? Well, now you can.
I was a baller. I wish I was a little bit taller.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can be. Now you can be.
Only Tina was going to get that.
Was that a Samoan joke?
No.
It's a pop culture reference.
Thank you, Michael. Shows that you're very well diverse.
And by the way, Avatar sucked.
Well, thank you very much. I happen to like my Avatar. It's really cool. Anyway, one other thing. So now you can make yourself taller. Yahoo Finance announced that there is a leg lengthening surgery right now that you can buy, and it can make you taller.
Like Gattaca.
Is that not amazing what they've done?
Did you guys ever see the movie Gattaca?
No.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
20 years ago, 25 years ago. But it's a futuristic society where your genetics predetermine what you get to do in life. And this guy wants to be an astronaut, but he's too short. So among one of the many things he has to go through to trade places with somebody who is authorized to be an astronaut is he has to get his legs lengthened so he is the right height. So he matches this other person's height.
Well, there you go. Now it's a possibility in real life. Now it's absolutely a possibility in real life. So how do you like that? How do you like them apples? Anyway, speaking of which, the U.S. Navy now has a patent on technology that it says will engineer the fabric of reality. Go figure. I mean, is that not amazing?
Explain, please.
Say that again?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that the U.S. Navy has a patent now. They took out a patent that will engineer the fabric of reality. And speaking of which, in regards to that aspect of it, Apple was going to put out this augmented reality headset, but it turns out that they couldn't get it together, so they're going to make up a less expensive version of what they were going to do. So, so let me tell you a little bit about it. This is from Vice magazine. U.S. Navy has patents on tech. It says it will engineer the fabric of reality. The U.S. Navy's UFO patent sounds like they've been ripped from a science fiction novel. The U.S. Navy has patents on weird and little understood technology, according to patents filed by the Navy. It's working on compact fusion reactor that could power cities, an engine that works on internal inertial mass reduction, and a hybrid aerospace underwater craft dubbed the UFO. So that's what they're doing. And I threw the link in the chat. You could look at it if you're interested in more science than you want to know about. So there you go. That's it. Speaking of cool things, I saw this thing from CES. It's called a magnetic cell phone holder. It's called the Snap 3 Pro. Have you guys heard of this?
Not. I gotta go.
I take it not.
No.
Basically, what it is, it's microscopic. It's a little circle that goes on your Apple phone. I think it goes on Apple. I believe they make one from Samsung. And basically, it's like a pop socket for your phone, but it's so small that it doesn't interfere with anything. And you could charge with it. It'll pass a charging signal through, and it looks really, really, really cool. So if it's called osnap.com, and you can check it out. I thought it was a pretty amazing invention that they've come up with. Love the way people think like that.
So
Really
I just came from the CES show last week, and one of the things I was looking for was the proper phone case that fulfills what I need. And I've been looking online for months and haven't found it. And I found it at the show, and I'm going to show it to you. What I needed was, I have an iPhone 14, but I need a stand because I sit and watch whatever I watch this way. But I also have an iPhone 14, so I want it to be chargeable with the magnetic ring. And I found a case that's got both. It's got the magnetic ring that turns into a case. So you can rest it down.
Stand, you mean, stand.
If you want to watch. And at the same time, it's got the magnetic to transfer the power or for just to mount on your dashboard, all in one case, and it doesn't stick out. It's totally flat, which was another requirement because it's got to go in my pocket. And then the case itself has got cushions on the corners and stuff. So it took me a while, but I got exactly what I was looking for. And made the entire
It looks nice.
And what?
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's great.
You guys want to see a killer box
Paul.
full of stuff I just got from China?
Yeah, let's see what you got, Paul. Let's see what you got. I like that
Everything
hat.
David showed you, only 10 times better. It's in this box.
Unbelievable. We could see right through the cardboard. I like that.
No, you can't. You can't see it.
By the way, Paul, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How you doing? I like that hat.
Yeah, it's to cover up my long hair. Like my hair's long now, Jan.
Oh, they're very nice, very nice. So, are you still a member of? I haven't been to office hours lately, but have you been? Have you been a regular on office hours? What's going on over there? You want to give us a report on office hours?
I'm on they have this thing called after hours, and it goes 24/7. It's around the clock, and every night at 6 they have to reset it. Because you can't have a Zoom call over 24 hours. So every night they have this ritual where they shut it down and then they bring it up within like 5 seconds, so it goes for 24 hours, it's down for 5 seconds, then it's back up. But check this out, you guys. Look, see that? I got 6.
Is that C4? Is that C4 explosives?
No, it is not.
Oh.
No. All right, so here's the packaging from China, just came in. And this is from ESR. All right. There's the box.
Wow, look
That's
at that.
what it is.
Let's see. Hold on, Paul. You got to let me
You want me
pin
to
you.
open the box? You want me
Let
to
me
take it
pin
out
you
of the
so that we
box?
can see what you're doing. Okay, we're pinned now. Hollow lock adjustable wireless charging stand. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
This is the best charging stand on planet Earth.
Great.
Let me open.
Very
It's
nice.
exactly what David just talked about. It does.
And this
the
and my
same
case
thing.
will work on it. Let me give a shout out to these guys because I really like them. It's Taurus, Torras, and they make cases and other stuff. And they also made something that goes around your neck that's both a heating unit and an air conditioning unit. It runs for
All right,
7
here you
hours.
go, guys. Here you
Oh,
go.
let's
The
get back to the good
unboxing
stuff.
goes on.
Here's mine, Taurus.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. All right, look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Boom. 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 It'll go in any shape you want.
Oh, that's
And
really
this is
cool.
the
So
charging
that's
surface here.
That's really, really cool. I mean, much more sophisticated than what I have. I just have this old Anchor. It doesn't do anything. All I do is you put your phone right on it like this, put your phone on it, and it charges, wireless charging. So,
All right, here's the deal. See, you have to hook it up to a cable, and they give you a
Yes.
cable. Here's the cable they give you, and you plug the cable right into here.
yeah.
Now
Well, I
watch,
got to tell you
watch.
that I found this cable now. I
I'm
can't.
not
I
done,
don't-
Jan. I'm not done
okay.
yet. I'm not
Yes,
done.
go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
Here you go.
This is,
Look at that.
Wow, works well.
You know, and you know what you know what I found out? This
No.
works 10 times better than the Apple charger, the charger they give you at Apple, you know, the little white disc.
Yep.
It's
Max
less
it.
money than that, and it works 10 times better, and it'll charge an Android phone.
Well, if you have the link, throw it in the chat so people can get it.
You
That
can't
would be
get
great.
them. I've got a source, but they won't sell to anybody. You can't get it.
Wow. So we have to buy them from you.
Get it. You do. You have to buy it from me.
It's the side hustle. It's the side hustle. Paul Wallace, the side hustle, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. That's it. This has been a paid political announcement. And with that in mind,
No,
listen.
I didn't make that up. I'm not making. That's not hype. I didn't make that up. They will not sell to anyone except me.
Very, very, very cool. Well, listen, guys, I'm gonna say that we're gonna go off air now because we've been on for over an hour. So we're gonna say goodbye to everybody, but we're gonna invite you to come into the room if you like. So if you want to join us before or after, just DM me from wherever you're watching this, and we'll send you a link so that you could be part of our panel and discuss current events with us. And so I want to thank you all for watching. Just remember, you make it happen. But before we go, is there anybody that wants to say anything real quick to the social media world?
stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Well, keep that in mind. Remember, everything you heard today is an opinion, so do your own research. And this has been the 139th meeting of our current event show. And thank you all for watching. And remember to click the like button and to share with your friends and subscribe. And with that in mind, have a great week. And remember, you make it happen. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everybody.
Same time, same place. And
Bye-bye, everybody.
off there. And we are off.
All right, so
There you
Paul, you
have
had
it.